Hi there, my name is TheTrueNev, I'm the only me there is, and welcome back to Satisfactory, in what should be a new non-series. By which I mean I have no idea if I want to make a series now, but since we are post-update 3, I still wanted to get back into it, as I mentioned in the last video I made. Also, as mentioned there, I started in the new Desert Doom biome. It's been totally revamped, and this is where I stood at, as I mentioned before, 14 hours in. Not much is done, you know. You've got your little hub, you've got your little space elevator. I had the beginnings of the foundations, and let's just go through things one at a time so I can both show you what's gonna happen in this episode and probably moving forward, as well as just how much progress I had at the time. But first we gotta get through the desert. It's gonna take a while. So while we walk, and you see one of the new things that we've got already is that we can slide. Oh, that was anticlimactic of me. Right. Slide, as you can see. Love that, love that. Only while running, great in the desert. And as we approach the southern oasis, or eastern, yeah, eastern one, we see the first few factories I set up. Now, what's my plan for this non-series? And I'm gonna call it a non-series as long as I can because I'm shamelessly trying to avoid it. It's not that I don't want to play, but making a series of Satisfactory takes time, takes a lot of time. Mostly because of the usual, you know, waiting for materials to be made and all that. And I don't mind, it's just, I'm undecided. Moving past that topic, wait. Hold on, let's back up just a moment and check this out. Look, one of the new materials that Update 3 added was copper sheets, which is what is used to make pipes. Over here I have iron rod and screw production. And moving along we have concrete, wires, cable, and sheets, among other things. But before I keep rambling on, let's talk about what this non-series will be like. Starting out, I want to do this introductory episode to both showcase, or rather detail, the new things that came with Update 3, since they are quite a few. There's quite a few changes that have been implemented in the game, and the least of which is actually just the fluids. See, there's my little coal burners. Those are nice, right? Yeah. Mostly because these changes are things that are going to take quite a bit of time to unlock, and you'll see why in a moment. And also because they're really exciting stuff, you know? They added some things to give the game some more dynamicity, if you could call it that. I don't even know if that's a word. Here's the water pump. Beautiful, beautiful. Here's my wire factory. And this was just a quick rundown of where I was at 14 hours ago. And more than the new things, I also want to talk about what kind of a factory I want to make. And the truth is, I have no idea what kind of a factory I want to make. I can't even climb this. But I do know that I started this new series with one single idea in mind. No, not to see how fast you can make coal, but rather, I want to blot out the sun with my factories, or at the very least, cover the land in platforms and factories and things like that, and especially, you know, use and take advantage of every single node, even the impure ones, to just create as many materials as possible. Because if that's one thing I learned from the last series, it's that I never did that, and then I always struggled for more materials. To rectify that, well, that's what this non-series here is for. But okay. As you can clearly see, I had a few factories going once I managed to automate things, and I had this little thing here to set up between the hub over here, and not much was made, and this was at 14 hours in, right? 14 hours in, and the desert looked barren, completely like a wasteland, empty. But now, as you can see in file test 02, nearly 14 hours later from that initial video, and now we have the foundation of a factory, the actual skeleton. Ta-da! I've got things up and running. I've got a little tractor going. I'll get in that right now just to move along. But let's start by showing some of the new things, right? So first of all, look. I decided to... So first of all, look at this. Nice, right? Nice and organized. You're probably wondering what this building is. It's the MAM, as you can clearly see. You remember the MAM? It used to be inside that little room inside the hub. Well, now this room is completely devoid of any purpose and or meaning. And this is where I say, developers, if you're ever going to implement the use of beds to get rid of the nighttime, because frankly, nighttime is kind of annoying, then I'd be all down for that. But anyway, MAM is separate. You have to build it. It's kind of annoying. There's also this thing, which is the Awesome Sink. It's like the ultimate expression of an idle game. Literally there to just, for you to sink in any and all resources and items you make, with the sole purpose of collecting tickets. tickets that help unlock actual things that have been removed from both the hub terminal and the elevator, but which ultimately give the game a lot more complexity. So here we have the awesome shop, where you use the tickets to, for example, now gain these walls with the conveyors, and look at this, windowed walls! I want this! There's also some attachments now, like this, the wall power. This way you don't have to run a cable through a wall. Very much appreciated. There's also some new foundations, quarter pipes pack. Yes, this is for pipes, I love it. Also for skateboarding, if you're really interested. Double ramp packs for some diagonals, which I also love. Corner ramp packs, which makes me think that someday in the future they should implement something like hexagons to finally complete a good grid of 8x8 or whatever. There's pillars now, which I also love. There's even a new vehicle. Now, all these are new things that I need to get to, but so far, 14 hours after barely automating things, and I'll get to this in a moment, but as you can clearly see, I've only got the skeleton going. I don't even have anything going to the sink yet, which is kind of what this first episode is going to be about. Finishing up the skeleton of the skeleton of the skeleton. This is just the start of the start of the start. And we have the elevator over here. And so now you know why I want to get every single node and every single thing up and running so that I can feed it into the sink and also always have materials. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. So first things first, or second or third, or if you're keeping count, then good for you. As in the first series I made, I decided to elevate things. This time for real, with proper planning, because better planning means a better future. Better factories in general. And so I started with the idea of, well, I want to make a grid. I want to elevate things onto a grid, a giant grid that covers the planet, which isn't really a grid. As you can see, it's more like a web, in a way, with little legs here and there, leading to every single node. And that's the base plan for now, anyway, with this place in the hub being the center of my operations, and everything just sort of branching out. So, yes, like a web or a tree. Now, to help in that grid-like vision, my lattice of sorts, I decided to build everything as squarely as possible. What do I mean by that? Well, see, you're facing north, this thing is completely parallel to north. You're facing east, it's parallel to east, and so on and so forth. Factories too, they need to be facing one of the 4 cardinal directions, and you might be thinking, well, that's too square, Nev. Well, I don't care. I love me some square grids. It's totally uncreative, you might say, but at the same time, I don't care about creativity. I'm in here for maximizing profits, maximizing materials, and I like me some grids. And because walking across this thing is going to take forever, let's go in the tractor so I can show you the first official project of this new non-series, or rather the first official, which is a revamped coal power plant. If you recall, I had just these 2 dainty little things back then, and they were good, they were fine, but you can actually kind of see it from here. But I wanted to have something a little more organized, a little better, something I could actually call a proper electric factory company thing. So I decided to expand on the initial idea and remove things from the ground level, unless they're the miners. And as we go along, we can see that I have some very nice bridges already built. The idea's coming along, but as you can see, boom! We've got a factory. Nice and organized, especially with the pipes, because I love the idea of organizing pipes. There's something so satisfying about this for me. Let me get up there. But this is the first official project, which is still barely in its baby phases. A power plant with 6 coal burners fed into it by only 1 coal node and 3 water pumps to feed the entire system. And look at it. I love the way it looks already, but it's not even close to being done. We still need to place the walls and the roof, and just for now, I'm admiring it because I love the way it came out, starting out. As it is, it's not running. I've got them all on pause because I don't have the water system done yet, but as you can see, the progress I made between then and now is adding these pumps, this entire pipe network above the sky, or rather above the ground. And you might be wondering, why did you do it like this? Why don't you just transport the water across the ground? Well, first of all, I came in with a vision, an organized vision, except for this little mess over here, but an organized vision, wanting to make things as uniform as possible, so if everything else is in the sky, why not the pipes too? The second reason actually came through experimentation. While I was transporting some fluids to the first 3 of these smoking pillars of Black Death, I came across a discovery, and I'm dead. I discovered something that would change my life forever, and it's something that I did not ever know. When you stack these two buffers, for example, these two right here, which is, by the way, the storage for liquids, if you store something on top and have a pipe connecting the two buffers, the fluid from the top goes to the bottom because fluids flow in every which way. I know, right? It
should have been obvious, but it wasn't for me.
Unless there's a pump specifically, pumping it up, then fluids will flow in every which way. And that's when I got the idea, well, gravity should be my best friend then, right? Gravity makes fluids fall anyway, so why not just elevate them all first and then let them cascade down, which is why this factory looks like this. Also, it's so that the pipes are not in the way, sort of like they would be in real life, where they go either against the wall, or under the ground, or above the ground. And when I made this, I thought, wow, this looks really nice. All I'm missing is a roof, some walls, and for that I need to grab everything else, and I need to finish some factories, and I need to start working on the tiers. And so this is where I am. Every so often I go out and explore, find new things. As you can see over here, we've got some pure nodes. I think that was iron, and this one is limestone. We've got some copper around here too as well, I think. The next thing I want to unlock, or that I want to work on, is actually everything related to the awesome sink. So the two objectives for today's episode will be to finish, or get as close to finishing, or at least turn on the frickin' coal power plant, as well as finish the ideas I have for the initial ores, which, by the way, is to simply have giant pillars that go down, which is why the materials are going to be transported up. Everything will occur on this top level, but every material needs to go up first, and in order to get all these running, first I need to get the power plant running, and it's a big mess. It's been 14 hours of pure planning, because that's all it really is in this game, planning and waiting for materials to be made. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to work on the current milestone, which is the last one of tier 2, before we get to tier 3, which is basic steel production. If I can get everything moving at once, I can start really considering finishing the power plant. Oh yeah, and before I forget, if you're wondering why I decided to start this non-series up right here after so many hours instead of from the very beginning, it's because, well, you already got most of what Satisfactory was from the first series, if you watched that one, of course. But if you didn't, then what are you doing here? The beginning is boring, it's slow, there's not much to do, and it would have taken forever just to get one episode out. So I skipped all that and went straight for the new stuff, especially because it gets really exciting as we move further along. And you know what really excites me? This. Getting some major air! And now to answer one question which no one asked, but I decided to answer anyway. Yes! I started anew simply because some of the things that were added in Update 3 kind of broke the game for me before. The previous series had everything already set up, and to modify the existing infrastructure, which was already kind of messy over there, to accommodate for the new things like liquids and things like that, made me think it was better to start fresh. Also, enemies now respawn unless there's a powered factory next to them, which is very sucky, meaning that I would have had to go through every single factory in that other series, killing everything, and you know what, I just wasn't up for that. I preferred to start in the desert, be a noob again, have 3 life as always, because I'm a lazy bastard when it comes to healing myself. Also, again, developers, please implement a bed someday. It would be marvelous to be able to use this little room for something other than to look at it now that it's empty. I've been waiting for 30 hours now to try this out, but let's see it. Would this elevator system work? Or if not, I have an even more elegant solution that I always feel like this game was missing, but let's see. Ooh, just as I thought. It is too high, meaning that I'll have to go with my more elegant solution. And what is that more elegant solution, I hear you asking? Quite simple, really. Ladders. Something that for some reason doesn't exist in this game, but I decided I'd make anyway, which I'm pretty sure other people have done, but in case they haven't, grab your conveyor pole, your stackable conveyor pole, right? Line it up with your little factory thing as close to the wall as possible, like so, and then just build up. And there you go. You have your impromptu ladder. And there we go. Got up here real nice and quick, real nice and easy. No problem, and I have a ladder here in case I ever need to get back down from up here. Beautiful. Just don't fall off like I did. Now then, in order to get things properly up and running, I think I'm gonna have to test out the factory itself. And by test out, I mean actually turn it on, or at least make sure the water is getting where it should go. And that'll mean doing the inauguration early, or earlier than anticipated, but with the added bonus that if it works, I'll have a super factory up and running already. And so, it's finally time to try this out. Let's see now. Pumps are pumping. It should be noted that the reason you need pumps like this one over here are to accommodate for height, because you can only make fluids flow upwards of maximum of about 10 to 20 meters before needing a pump, so that's way more than 10 to 20 meters. Temp pump is not yet working, though it should be. Where's the water, huh? It's already flowing this way. Let's see. Okay. Got a nice amount in there. Feels like it's not pumping. See, this is why troubleshooting was necessary. There we go. Now it's pumping. A little lower, and that's all it needed. Now let's try up here. Come on. I see you pumping. Look at this beauty, huh? Pure water. Pure H2O. Well, the split isn't even, and this thing isn't pumping up. So this entire pipe seems a little useless. Which is sad for me, but ultimately it's working. Okay, power plant is up and running. It's not done yet, but it's at least functioning. And with this, 2 hours later, and, well, just a few more minutes after this, we see the first bits of produced material from one of these tiny leg spire things head off into the awesome sink. Now, this is just the very first one. I've still got to set up all the others, but I'm doing this right now to see how long it takes to get tickets, because I don't even know if it will be one per one, if one item will give me one ticket. I'm hoping, though, that way I can get more things. But for now, let's see how this goes. Alrighty, here comes the first one. And in it goes. In the description it says the awesome sink is infinite, so it'll always take resources. And this is points until the next coupon. Yeah, so it takes some time, it takes some doing. I think it depends on the material and the quality of it, but yeah. I'll keep this running and get some tickets so I can hopefully expand the factory even more and complete the coal power plant. But I'm gonna have to leave it here for now. This has taken way too long, way longer than I anticipated. And so next time I log in, or next time you see me, I'll probably have completed all the spires and be ever closer to buying all the things to complete the power plant and just to keep expanding as we go along. For now, thank you so much for watching this episode of Satisfactory. If you liked it, then please thumb us with that like button down below, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button for some sweet notifications. But as always, I'm the only me, so you be the only you. See you in the next episode.